The sponsor of today's video is Jai. Jai is a local Hanoi-based fightwear apparel company, selling things like the rash guard you see me wearing now, as well as a variety of other products like gis, finger tape, and lifestyle items like t-shirts and vests. Also recently they brought out a line of competition rash guards, so if you have a competition upcoming, you can buy a rash guard that relates to the belt category you fight in, be it white, blue, purple, brown or black. In addition to this, they also have a range of new graphics printed on their rash guard tops, so head to their website, the link is in the description below, and use discount code TEACHERHARRY10 for 10% off. See ya. Ready?
Yes, sir.
Hey, what's up? It's Harry, aka Harry John Smith, aka Teacher Harry, and today I'm joined again by my friend Bucky. Say what's up.
What's up?
In today's video, we're going to be reacting to my second line championship fight that took place in August of last year, August of 2023, and it was against at the time, the teammate of my first opponent. In this match, I was victorious again, winning a decision, 30 points to 27, so 3 rounds to nothing. Shall we get into it?
Let's go.
Okay, so before we start, do you have any questions?
Yeah, because it's your second match.
Yep.
I want you to talk a little bit about your emotion between this match with your first match.
So it was mixed. There were some good things. I felt better in some ways and worse in some ways. So first of all, I was riding high on confidence. Like my first victory in Vietnam was a dominant one. I won 3 rounds to nothing, securing takedowns, scoring ground and pound, and for the small amount of time that the fight was on the feet, I was able to land some good strikes. So I was feeling confident, riding a wave of confidence. How else? Oh, I had some experience now too, like my first show in the UK, like my first amateur fight in the UK, it was like in some town hall, one guy filming on his small camera to upload it to YouTube. But here they have the television presenter, the big lights, the camera, like the stadium, like it's a completely different feel. So having had the first fight, like all of that pressure and experience made it easier the second time. Now, yes, there are the cameras, the lights. I know how this all works, how it is when I walk to the cage and what it feels like when I step in there. So 2 positives, feeling more confident and I have some experience. On the other side, in my first match, I had injured my right hand, and it wasn't injured still at this point, but during maybe the first 2 or 3 weeks of camp, it was still bothering me. So it was limiting both my striking and my grappling training. Obviously, because the striking, I can't land the punches with the right hand, but also with the grappling. If ever I grab my own hand, like for a takedown, or if I'm trying to choke somebody and they were pulling my hand off, it would make it worse, or the injury would flare up. So I was not worried about the injured hand, but the effect that it had on my training camp. And second of all, usually when I cut the weight, I go from 73 kilos, approximately 72 or 73, down to 65, and then the next day I gain all that weight back. I get to back up to like 73 or 74. But in this fight week, on this Sunday, just as I'm starting to do all the water loading, like drinking all that water, I get food poisoning, like bad food poisoning. So I go from weighing 73 kilos on Sunday morning, before the week before the fight, I weigh in on Friday morning at 65 kilos, and I'm only able to get back to like 69. So over the space of 5 or 6 days, I lost 4 kilos approximately, 4 to 5 kilos. So this was playing on my mind a little. So those were the differences: good, confidence, experience; bad, injury affecting camp, food poisoning.
At that time, all of that affect to your fight?
I don't want to make excuses, you know. I feel like, especially having the food poisoning, my cardio was like less than it usually was. But what I would say as well is that my opponent lands some good knees in the clinch, so this also probably has something to do with like my cardio going down as the fight continues. But so maybe it has, but I don't want to make excuses. I think yeah, that's all I have to say really. I'm not going to be like, yeah, my performance was bad because I felt sick. Like my opponent gave, like, and also, as you'll see, like trying to take him down was much harder than the previous opponent. So again, I think it's more likely like the knees to the body, the good takedown defense having an effect on my cardio than being a bit sick, honestly. Let's get into it. So here we are. The usual fanfare and parade. There I am with the old photo and the old haircut up on the screen. And as you can see, yeah, I changed hairstyles between fights.
You cut off your mullet.
Yeah,
But still handsome.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I said in the last video, I looked back at this and thought, God, my hair looks so bad. I can't go with this again. So here I go, keep the hair on top, but cut the mullet off. And here's my opponent, Viet Anh, 65 kilo fighter, fighting out of Kick Fit Sports. Interestingly enough, both him and Tang Nguyen have fought 5 times since I beat them in 2023. And altogether, they have won 5 fights and lost 0. And I think all of them have been finishes as well. So not to pat myself on the back, but I have 2 dominating wins against what turned out to be like good fighters with very strong winning records, you know. Anyways, that's
What's your plan in your first round?
same like before. So I fought in July, now I'm fighting in August. There's not enough time between the new fights to add the new skills, the new tools to my game. I'm purely just riding the wave of the previous camp, keeping my conditioning up, my tools sharp, and going again the same. I'm going to try to push him to the cage and take him down there. But as you see, I'm going with my leg kicks, both inside and out, my fakes with the pumping fake, the leg kicks. I think I show him some level changes. But as you can see, he's not moving back so easily. He's taking the center of the cage. He won't let me push him back. But I noticed that, oh, here we go. So we enter the clinch. He lands a nice right hand on the exit. I think, damn it. I lost that exchange. So again, trying to push him back, landing the leg kick. Jab, he moves back a little. And as he comes back in, I throw the jab and duck under his jab, securing a takedown. So back to my world, back to my strength. So here we are, I'm in a sort of, yeah, open / closed guard position. I've got an underhook. I'm trying to frame on his face to land the ground and pound. But he gets the soles of his feet on my hips and is able to push me off him. I think what I could have done better in this fight is be more diligent with removing his heels from my body, throwing the legs by and punching. I do this during the fight, like I did there, land a nice punch. But I give him too much opportunity to push me away and stand back up himself. So here we go, trying to get past his legs, having a little difficulty. Here's what I should be doing, controlling the heels like I am here. Don't let him put them on the body. Throw the legs by and come to a domination position. There we go. So in a leg drag position, land a couple of good strikes. Again, back to leg drag. Still struggling to get around his guard here. And there we are, around a little, what is this? Here he has some sort of like half butterfly guard where he has 1 foot or 1 shin underneath my thigh, but 1 on the outside. And then here we move to closed guard, or halfway between open guard and closed guard, landing some ground and pound as I'm standing up. But again, he kicks me off and back out to the distance. So I think I get a good punch in here. Let's see. Yes. So as you can see here, let me rewind a little to about the 1 minute and 5 second mark. So here I know he's waiting to find an opportunity to stand up again. You know, he doesn't want to be in this position. He's losing the fight here. I know that he's going to at some point make an attempt to stand up. In order for him to be able to stand up, he's going to have to put 1 hand on the mat at least, and maybe 1 outstretched to keep me off of him. So I use that as he's like in between being on the ground and standing up. I use this as an opportunity to land like a good hard punch over his guard. Standing up, boom, there we go. And then passing the guard like this. Again, he's doing a good job at pushing me back into his guard. He's keeping his guard open, meaning that he will have opportunities to work. Like if he just closed his legs and held on, then that's fine by me. I'll find the space to land punches. But he's putting the hands on here, the feet on me here. Now, this is an interesting technical detail. Let me wait. So, I'll pause in this position so it's kind of clear. It's a little hard to see because the names are in the way, but I'll do my best to explain it. So, here, we're against the cage. most guys who are trying to defend the grappling are going to use the cage wall to stand up, like they put their back on it and they start kind of standing up using the wall to assist them. But what I've done here is two things. First of all, I'm turning his body a little bit away from the cage so that, again, it's hard for him to sit up. And second of all, as you can see here, behind this hand here is my head. I've put my forehead against the cage because it means then that like my body acts as a physical barrier that will stop him from standing up. Like if I remove my head, now he has some space to climb up, but if I put my head in the way here, he can't go any higher than my head. Maybe he can start standing up with his legs, but his head will not go higher than mine. And from here, I land a good few shots, sort of to kind of close out the round. There you go. He's not able to do much because he's not in a great position to stand up. As I said, I should be doing something more about dealing with those feet, like controlling his heels or his feet, throwing them to the side and punching. Again, keeping him pinned against the side of the cage. I missed this one because again, I don't deal with the leg on the body. Try to fold him over here, back to the open guard situation, standing up, ground and pound a little bit. That is what I should have been doing the whole fight. Throw the leg, use the momentum generated by like twisting my body and throwing a heavy punch as his legs are past me.
What did you think about your opponent after the first round?
First round it was hard to say because I had dominated. What I had noticed was landing ground and pound was more work. It required more effort. My previous opponent, he didn't try so hard to stand up. He was more trying to hold on to me and not let me punch. But I'm ready for this, you know, framing and punching. He was doing a good job of keeping his legs open, not closed. He kept his legs open, meaning that as soon as there was any space between me and him, he could put the soles of his feet on me and push away. So already, although I won that round convincingly, I noticed he was more willing to take risks to get to positions where he could stand up in. So I throw like a change stance into the cross and then go for a takedown. What he does well here, well, first of all, fighting as a grappler, fighting shorter guys can be difficult because when I take people down, I'm aiming for like their hips and their legs, like I want to change my level and attack their hips. But he's shorter than me, so to get to his hips, I actually almost have to travel. Like I don't change the level and go along. I almost have to kind of like change my angle to go down. And what he does here himself as well is, as he sees me changing the level of my head to shoot for the takedown, he changes his level here as well. You see that? Like our heads almost collide because he's doing a good job of changing his level, making it hard for me to enter his hips. So we rewind a little. Go on.
Good catch. I saw the good catch.
Yes, it's coming. So I'm struggling to enter just on his hips. We have a bit of like a clinching exchange. He lands the better shots in the clinch. So I don't get the timing on his punches, but I think maybe catching a kick would be a good shout. I feel the kick on the body, I grab the leg, and then I can run at his hips. The advantage of taking somebody down as they are kicking is as follows. When I try to wrestle with somebody who is, I'll pause the video here for a second. When I wrestle with somebody and I try to take them down just like the wrestling takedown, it can be really difficult because he weighs the same as me. He's like 70 to 75 kilos. Like to pick up 75 kilos and put it down, it's not easy. It's really hard, especially when he's trying to stop me from doing that. It's not like I just pick up 75 kilos and I drop it. He's actively like putting his hips back, putting his weight on my shoulders, making him heavier, right? But if he kicks, he's standing on one foot. Balancing on one foot is hard enough already. If somebody can run into you as they're standing on one foot, the takedown is much easier to secure. So as you can see here, he goes over like pretty. Yeah, we'll rewind this here. So I enter the takedown, I fail. He lands some punches. Not so hard. Catch the leg and he falls over. So here we are again, open guard, half guard situation this time. This is a little better for me if I can get, and again, he does a good job of getting his feet on my body back to the open guard position. I prefer to fight from half guard for the ground and pound most of the time. Here, as you can see now, passing to half guard. It's just a better controlling position for myself. Like I can sit on one of his legs like I am here, control the far side of his body with an underhook here on the right side as well as my head, and use my free hand to start punching his face. And that's what I go for here. So trying to pass guard, I've inserted one of my feet in between his guard, and as he explodes, he opens his legs and I'm allowed to pass to mount. Here, what I make the mistake of doing a little bit is rushing to the ground and pound. I'm thinking, this is my inexperience, I think, I have the mount position, I must finish him quickly. What I should actually have done is take a little bit of time, wait for him to explode, then either take his back or just maintain and secure my position, and then when it comes to the ground and pound, a little slower and much heavier, like frame, punch, pull the arm, punch, frame on his face, punch. But I rush, I lose the position, he stands up.
But he also very strong.
He's strong, don't get it twisted. Here we go, a takedown against the cage. So as you can see here, rewind a little. Against the cage, I have good controlling position, like I have a nice high underhook, I've got my forehead under his chin, but I'm still really struggling to enter any sort of good, I tried to pick up his ankle, I can't, he's too heavy. So I think, okay, break, throw a couple of punches, sink on the hips, and here I'm able to get a better connection. Once you connect your hands behind the legs and under the ass of your opponent against the cage, the success rate of a takedown is like 90-95% because it's so hard to defend there. There's nowhere for you to sprawl, your knees are together. All I have to do is either pull the legs out or like this, turn away, back to the cage. So here we are, he's trying to stand up again. But this time, as he's standing up...
Did you get aggressive in your fight? Aggressive?
Yeah, I tried to do a bit more damage with the ground and pound, like actively trying to get around his guard and hammering the fist, but it's hard, like, especially with the guy who's pushing you off like this. Here, so this was another one of my ideas. One of my main ideas at this time when it came to the striking is jab the body because it looks like the takedown, then throw the right hand over the top because maybe they bring their hands down thinking it's a takedown. The other option is like the body jab into the like leaping left hook, like left hook and a jump. It's a good idea, but the problem here is the execution. I throw the jab to the body, I go with the left hook, but I jump too far, so the punch goes behind his head and doesn't land clean. So again, I go underneath his punches, he gets his hips back, I drive him to the cage, and here again, he's doing a good job of keeping his base. Maybe here I could have dropped on the takedown, but the collar tie on the shoulders makes it hard for me to change my level. Again, at this point I'm starting to feel fatigued, and as a result I'm spamming my takedowns, not really setting them up and just shooting at the hips, which is probably not the best, especially seeing as there's really not so much time left in the round, only a few seconds. I should just be, jabbing to the body, going with my overhand or the leg kick. Yeah, failed takedown and back to the corner.
Did you look into the clock when you fight?
Yeah, I mean, people say like, people kind of like look down on looking at the clock. Like, oh, if I look at the clock, I must be tired. I don't think it's this way. Like, if there's an opportunity to look at the clock, it's a good thing because sometimes you can't hear the corner telling you how long you have left. And you do have to keep in mind, like, there's so much, like, there's another round to go. I maybe need to conserve a little of my energy. So yeah, I look at the clock here and there. Again, entering the clinch situation. He kicks, I catch it, I take it down, take him down. Much easier than trying to go under the punches and hit the hips. If he's on one leg, it's going to be hard for him to balance. Easy for me to knock him off his feet, or easier for me to knock him off his feet. Again here, trying to enter the half guard situation, but he does a good job of pushing me back to the full guard. This time, as he's standing up, I'm too slow to react and he gets back to his feet. Again, here we are in the cage wrestling situation. There's nothing going for me there, so I disengage. Here I am trying to like shake the tiredness out of my muscles, faking to kind of draw some reaction. Ooh, and there you go. Not beautiful. Bad. Thank you very much. Yeah, like I said, it's at this time, my striking has changed a lot since then. But the sort of two main ideas when it came to like punching into takedowns was jabbing to the body and going with the leaping left hook. Or as I did in the very first like 20 seconds of my first fight, jabbing to the body and going over with the right hand. If I jab to the body, one, it looks like a takedown, and two, he feels the connection with the body, so likely maybe he'll bring one hand down or both hands down to protect himself. That leaves space over the top for me to go with the right hand. So let's have a look again. Fake. Fake. He's keeping his hands up. Boom. There we are. And then drive to the cage. So again, I'm trying here to get the single leg. I'm picking up his leg. Instead of picking him up, I should be pulling him away from the cage. He's a heavy guy, he's short and strong, so that was probably a mistake of mine. I don't need to fight so hard to pick him up. As long as I can pull him away, maybe I can push him back to the cage with a better position. But no, as you can see here, he's doing a good job of keeping me up, stopping me from completing the takedown. And at this point, I'm pretty exhausted. I'm quite tired here. Again, I'm not blaming the food poisoning. It could have been that, but more likely. He was difficult. It was difficult to pass his guard. He's strong with the defense.
Your opponent, give him a respect because of
definitely. And here we go. So I complete the single leg, and I think I have the good position. But he has a sort of like a half, what's called like a half Nelson or a power Nelson, where he has like one grip underneath my shoulder here and the other one across the back of my neck. So as I'm going to finish the single leg takedown, he reverses my position and then traps my leg. So now I'm lying on the mat with my back on the mat, one arm trapped this way, one arm trapped this way, and he has a free hand to start punching, and I think no, not now, because even if he doesn't knock me out, if he can punch me like 10 or 15 times in a row and I don't protect myself, maybe the referee will be like, he's not protecting himself, stop. So I think I need to move fast. I need to come up with something quickly. So I think, I rely on my training. I've been in the position similar to before. I don't have my arms, but I still have my legs. So what I'm gonna try to do from this position here is trap his arm with my legs, which I managed to do here. I get my toes caught in the cage, which I probably shouldn't do, but nonetheless, I see how I'm trapping his arm with my legs and then my foot, and I can start to like sort of backwards roll out of this position, and there we go. Whew. Relieved, right?
He can absolutely submit you in that position.
Submit me, maybe, but landing the ground and pound, coming to the top position, I definitely think so. So if I had not acted quickly, who knows what would have happened here. Nonetheless, at this point now, I am exhausted. After spending a minute trying to take him down, reversing the position, I am exhausted. I'll be honest, I'm not trying to finish the fight here, I'm trying to stall. I'm trying to get the clock to run out something before the fight ends. One rubbish ground and pound strike gives him the space to stand up. I'm just controlling him here. I think I'm gonna, just keep my head pinned. Now, lands a knee to the body. I take an underhook. Look, you see there, looking at the clock once. Again, still controlling, looking at the clock again, breaking away. I look at the clock a third time, like, done. And then all respect, that was, I won 30-27, but this fight was more competitive than my previous match. I still think I clearly won 3 rounds to nothing, but there were some more moments that my opponent had, and I had to work a little more in some of these positions than I did previously.
If we back to that day, can you give me some compare between your first opponent with him, Tran Viet Anh and Viet Anh?
So it would be this. So in terms of striking, because I spent so much time grappling, it's hard to give too much information about the striking at that time. The only thing I can say with certainty was Viet Anh was harder for me to use my boxing and my footwork to push him to the cage. Pham Thanh Nguyen, it was easier for me to move him back because he's more of like a step back and counter puncher, yeah? So in the striking, that's one key difference, which suited my game. Like pushing people to the cage at this point was like my primary goal. And the second key difference as well, or the second key difference in terms of technique was when I went to the ground with Pham Thanh Nguyen, he relied more on like closing his legs and holding on to me to stop me from attacking him. Whereas Viet Anh was more willing to open his guard and use his feet or some hammer fist from the bottom to create space between himself and myself and start standing up. So those are the two technical details. And when it comes to like physicality, because maybe because he's a bit shorter, he has more of the muscle mass. So despite being like a shorter fighter, he felt stronger in the grappling exchanges than Tam Thanh Ngân. But again, both of these fights were a year ago now, almost more than a year ago. So I'm sure both of them and their skills in different areas have upgraded. That's just how I feel, how I felt about their skills at that time.
Yeah. And let's talk about a little bit about your emotion when you get the winning.
It's similar for me, like both times. I thought it would be joy, but more than joy, it's like relief. It's like, oh, thank goodness, all like the hard work paid off, then like the stress and the nerves and the weight cut. It's relief more than joy. Don't get me wrong, like in the week after you feel like, man, like damn, I won, I feel great. But immediately after, like when you get your hand raised, it's like when you find out you passed the exam at school, it's like, oh, thank God I passed, you know? Like this.
Yeah, thank you.
Any more questions?
Yeah.
Perfect. Thanks for joining me today, Bucky. Don't forget, Shop Jai, Teacher Harry, 10% discount off your rash guards, your gis, any other kind of jiu-jitsu equipment you're looking for. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. See you next time.